Welcome, guys. Today we're getting to the real point. We're looking up the games at the U.S. Masters League, U.S. Open that happens every year annually at the U.S. Go Congress. These are the highest quality games of North America. So um, So this is good. This is like our highest level of play. Now, as with all highest levels of play, by the way, here is the US Go Congress homepage. First, let's do an update on who is coming. Who is coming? How many? 405 registered participants. 405. They'll probably be a little bit disappointed by that. But then again, it's Texas. It's in the middle of the country. It's not in the population centers of East Coast and West Coast. So I guess I'll have to accept this. All right. Secondly, the U.S. Go Congress highest level of gameplay. As you would expect, the highest level of Go Congress US Go gameplay is going to involve not just the US Go players, it's going to involve international players as well. I think this is one of the things that the US Go organizers are doing quite well in that so it's a US Open, so it's a totally open tournament, and people from all over the world, the best in the world, are welcomed to play in this one. So here's the NA Masters. Lots of good prize money and a lot of broadcasts and things like that. Um, um, okay, and this year we're gonna have a lot of professionals from all over the world playing. I just hope that you know we have a 9-dan professional playing, 2P, and then there's me. I guess there's just a couple of players playing. Um, this is a incomplete list, so it's okay. This guy won the U.S. Open Masters Division last year, so that guy's very good. This is me. This is me. This is Alexander Chi. Uh, there's this guy from Taiwan. This guy from Taiwan. Wang Yuanjun. He has a silver crown on Fox. Okay, so yeah, the Masters. Um, very nice. Um, okay. This year it's gonna be 60 minutes per player time limits with 20-second increments. Sounds pretty reasonable. Um, Recently, there's a Chinese tournament, Chinese newcomers tournament. So people who have like super high amateurs, low ranked professionals, new professionals, and women's professionals all getting together to play in a tournament. And that tournament had time limits of 50 minutes per player and 30 seconds of bio yomi, which is also reasonable. So that is roughly comparable to this. Plus 20 seconds, many people think this is more time than 30 seconds Yomi. I believe that's the case. You always get some people who look at 30 seconds by Yomi and then they think they can use the whole 30 seconds. That's not true. 20, every time you play, you get 20 seconds. That's much better. That's usually much better than 30 seconds per move because you always waste a lot of time with that. Anyways, I hope they stick with this. If they stuck with an hour, 30 minutes plus 30 seconds of Yomi, that would be comparable to this time setting. probably about the same, but that's a lot long. That's an hour and 30 minutes. This is 60 minutes. So this is in many ways even slower, much slower than the Chinese Go tournament, where they have the women, the new professionals, and the top amateurs all playing together. That tournament is much stronger than our U.S. tournament. So there's one, um, you know, a lot of people say, "Oh, we gotta get our people to have, world tournament, like top of the world time settings. That way they'll gain experience there." I don't think so. This time setting is more than slow enough. It's not like you guys have the top players in the world. It's not like I am like anywhere close to the top 200 in the world. So yeah, that's for this reason. I think the U.S. side has it generally good. Europeans with their much slower time settings is really deluding themselves. And for the same US people, they're just deluding themselves when they say, if only we had slower time settings, um, our people would get, the right kinds of practice. No, I don't think that's true. So anyways, this is a more than slow enough time setting, so this is very good. Who's coming? There's a whole bunch of high dan professionals and high level amateurs coming, so it's quite a very strong field. Just look at all these 8.0 players joining. This guy is a 7P, for example. Um, okay, so today it's about looking at some of the games at the master's level. So that was a bit of an overview. Let's now take a look at some of these games. Now I have personally been a part of only the 2024 and 2022 Go Congresses. 24, I didn't keep that great of track records, so it's 24. I actually, most of the games were recorded, so I didn't record these myself. This is my OGS page, by the way, under Zichen. Great. Let's take a look at some games that happened. So a lot of my experiences were in the 2022 Go Congress. I have a bunch of games recorded here. Let's first take a look at Han Han. So Han Han is the strongest opponent that I've played against basically, and certainly in the U.S. and he is undefeated in the U.S. He was a active member of the Chinese A League, so he's very strong, and he's by far the strongest player in the U.S. Open. This year, the Wang Yuanjun, he might be stronger than Han Han, but they're comparable. Kim Ji-suk doesn't play, he comes. Kim Ji-suk's a little stronger by accomplishment, and he's also very active now, so which is fine, which is reasonable. But Han Han is the one that played. Okay, so this game, I also went through this game on Ben Keel's stream when he invited me on to talk about the US Go Congress Masters League games. So this one we're gonna go through relatively quick before going into the next Han Han game, which is everyone's favorite. Not the game itself, but the incidents. Anyways, this game, I was still a amateur player at the time. I would go on to play the 2023 professional qualifiers and win that and become a 1P. So this was when I was still an amateur. And straight off in the beginning, this lower left corner is a reasonable Joseki, complicated, but white needs the ladder for this Joseki, And the Joseki, specifically the ladder goes, the first ladder white needs is this one, this one. The second ladder that white needs is this one, double Hane and then Atari. Now in this game, because of the cross corner nature of the openings, white has neither ladder, so this immediately doesn't work. Later I found that if you extend this is a little worse, but it's still reasonably acceptable. But it's a little worse without any moves around. Specifically in this one, it's a good thing to remember that if black has a stone around here in the fourth line, this actually works better for white because it reduces the effectiveness of that one stone. So it's like paradoxically, it's actually more okay if there's actually more black stones in the area. Anyways, in this case, white finds it difficult to have an okay continuation at this point. Now, normally speaking, this is a move. The jump is a move, and it is the best move now. Sorry, white wants to play here first. Make sure to offer up the exchange. Black is gonna decline and then capture the corner. And then something like this is gonna happen. This is favorable for black with a blob and so on. Directionally, white is okay, so that's what makes it slightly playable. Just if you're playing black, just make sure you don't do this. Let white connecting the back. Looks reasonable, but now it's black getting totally blobbing up, and the one stone is totally useless. There's one Joseki that has something where the one stone doesn't exist, and that's about equal. You imagine you play in a almost completely useless stone at one. That is very, very bad. Okay, so for all these reasons, it was not easy for white to play here. And when white extends, black just the ladder doesn't work for white, the ladder works for black, so black ladders this. This looks like disaster for white over here. However, I did have a plan for the ladder breaking move, which is going to shift the focus to the upper side, sort of transitioning. Locally here, this is super efficient for black, which means bottom left black gets a very good result. So it's all up to white to get a good result on the top right, and you guys can tell by the AI graph that it's still okay. All right, thank God that we have spent the first part of the game focused on the lower left because our board is totally uncentered. Crazy. That's okay. That's okay. Good. GS window. Perfect. So now I bring in the rest of the board. Slight mishap. Logos obscures the screen a bit. Is it intentional? It was not intentional. Still way faster than EGC. Yeah. So yeah, I guess I really do believe the US side has this side done much better. It's much better to practice with multiple slightly faster games than like fall asleep at the 6 hour mark in your game. Like, what are you guys trying to do here? Hold the world championships? You know, you're not holding the world championships here. So yeah, this is good. Plus, this gives your people a lot more time, your Go players a lot more time in the afternoons to listen to professional lectures, to play simos with professionals, to get their games reviewed with the professionals, check out books, make friends with other players, get drunk, something like that. All these are fun activities that you want your Go players to have a chance to do. Yeah, I don't understand why the Europeans are doing their tournaments that way. Like we have to figure out the best European player, um, with 6 hours, and then um, there's a lot of these people with the same ideas in the U.S. too. We have to have slower games. That's why the U.S. people aren't winning any international games. That's not why the NA players have not been winning any international tournaments after Ryan Lee, maybe 7 years ago. That's not why. The reason is the people in Asia have, devoted lots and lots of time studying with AI and discussed Go amongst themselves. And people in the US, we make too much money. A good reason to not be strong at Go. That's why. It's not because we didn't play 6 hour long games. You don't need 6 hour long games. It's very sad. It sounds to me like, and having talked to some of the directing people, that it seems like the slower time setting people are winning. So um, um, it sounds like they are winning the argument. So um, we may not keep the 60 minutes plus 20 seconds. We may go back to a slower time setting. Now, luckily, 60 minutes plus 20 seconds of per move is right about the same as 1 hour and a half with 30 seconds by Yomi. So luckily, that's about the same. So that's okay. Personally, I think it would be a lot more comfortable at the 60 minutes plus 20 seconds, because at least you always have a couple minutes at the end for you to start thinking about the moves. You're never really under the Bio Yomi time pressure, which is great. Um, yeah, just try, at the Maryland Open, we had 40 minutes, um, and then 30 seconds Bio Yomi, and people ran out of time left and right because 30 seconds per move is really fast in real life. It's not online, but it's fairly fast in real life across the board, and people just don't realize. So that's okay. Either way, we'll get the fast enough time settings that I advocate for. Anyways, so in this game, White was able to gain a lot on the upper right. This is a very interesting ko and exchange. It's a very interesting shape. It's like if you count, Black would have spent 3 extra moves on the lower left for this position, and just comparing the black and white shape on the lower left with top left, where White spent 3 moves, you'll pretty figure that you'll prefer Black, but if you give White one more move, then you probably prefer White because of the quickness of the expansion. So with one more White move here, you'd probably want to take White on the left half of the board, but with one less move, you'll want to take Black. So Black gains over on the left in terms of efficiency, but also at the same time, you also will prefer White on the right-hand side of the board because White has already more territory, and White has a corner that's untouched, and Black's one stone is clearly weaker than this many White stones with a nice space there. White's top is totally alive. So White overall has a very significant lead at this point at 10 points. But neither player knew this, but both players did feel it was good for White. But this is a very interesting and complicated and non-standard game, which is very nice, very interesting. But after this part, we were going to see Black really taking control of the game and showing how it is, how good, being like around, ranked around 50, top 100 in the world is. And so here, first move here, not defending the blob stones. The previous moves with the capture of another stone on top of the blob has already accomplished that, has already accomplished enough strengthening. So here when white swings over to attack and pressure and make territory on the top, black takes the biggest territory on the left. Very, very nice. Um, yeah, so the interplay here, how strong this group is versus a white group and the right-hand side black group, and all this potential here for black, kind of weak position for white, almost a dead group for white, potential for black here, potential for white up there. It's just a very, very rich and complicated game. It just makes it very, very interesting. So here white plays another diagonal move. This is continuing to pressure black and make the top. I felt really good playing these moves, but in hindsight, of course, I should not have. Um, um, Anyways, so black here plays a reasonable move. After certain number of tenukis, black is very in danger of being surrounded. Here white goes for a dubious invasion. One idea, so here white makes a big feeling mistake or recognition mistake or state of the game mistake, which is white feels the top black group is a little weak and could be pressured. And therefore white wants to attack the right hand side group, hopefully chase us into the middle so that we could get a double prone attack going on. But when black just responded here, not only was it impossible to chase black into the middle, white himself is being cut. I am myself being cut on the bottom, which is a big problem. It opens up another group here for white, and as a result it was white with two different groups, which is very sad. So and black has this very strong wall for now. All this needs is a couple of eye spaces, and then it's totally, it's total thickness. So this is like, the whole thing with Go is that it's totally on the board. Everyone can see everything on the board, and the whole thing is, two people come across the same amount of visual information on the board, placement of stones and the board, and they come up with differences in conclusion. And this is one of the most interesting parts of the game, and it's how rich the game is. They look at the same thing and they come up with different ideas. Not only ideas about who's winning, ideas about how to play the game, but also ideas about the game itself. All kinds of good things. Anyways, so here white is now losing the thickness battle, and which is very interesting. This jump is very nice, should be played, but when the turn happens, white needs to go into defensive mode now, recognize that the right hand side territory versus outside influence exchange has greatly lessened or weakened white's relative strengths between the two. And so this move needed to be an extend out, extend back, double hane. All these would be fine moves. Hane, for example, is offering up this mutual settlement. Probably the best would be to extend back. Black is going to play one more move and then just connect these two, and then or just make an extension on the bottom. Still a very close game. Black needs to make up a lot of territory. White has potential territory on the top and some solid territory. This is still a very, very open, complicated game. In the game, white, because of the previous misjudgment about the relative strengths of the black group over here on the top, white makes corresponding subsequent mistakes. So here you can see white, I'm going after this group, forcing black basically to defend this. And what happens when you force your opponent to defend something? He either defends it or he doesn't. And if he doesn't need to defend it, of course he's gonna do something that's one more step taken towards winning the game. So here I felt really good. I felt like what black was gonna play there, and then It was either just push across and then cut black from the back. Maybe there could be something like this in an exchange. Um, if I couldn't do that, I would play 4 and surround this top territory. This would put massive pressure on black to get a lot of territory. All these are very nice, and however, another idea was this. I would push a couple of times. Remember before when um, you know, push a couple of times, and remember before we were going to play here and defend the territory. Now we're going to total Tanuki, and then when black Ataris, we'll just Atari from the back. Of course, black would counter this, but that's another idea, and this would be a way to run, you know, run so fast and cover so much of the board. For example, black is going to capture these 2 stones, and then white is going to um, you know, possibly do something like this, and then make another um, something like this, maybe a 1 space extension, and then so the middle is going to be a wash, and black would only have the lower left territory. This would only be 35 points. White has 30 points plus on the top already, not to mention this corner and the other corner. So plans were very good, very nice, but the whole thing was we were not able to get black to defend here. How many of you would have played this, right? I was thinking black was going to play this. How many of us would have played that? No? Black extends. And so this was the first surprise. We're like, well, what if I capture you? And then it's like, okay, let me stay calm. If I go here, black is going to wedge and then cut. Okay. I see how this is not that good. So we'll take the next best thing, which is what's going to play there and play here. Now you're going to play there, right? For sure. How many of us would have played this move, right? Of course we would play this move. How many? Yeah. Nope. Black plays this jump. What? I was totally lost. What? And so here I'm like, okay, I'll play one more move. And then black plays this move. I'm like, what? And only now did I realize, even the AI doesn't see it. Only now do I realize. So white probably wants to capture like this, and then it's here. Before I was looking at, you know, assuming that the Atari was going to happen, and then you know, there's nothing up here, and I was gonna go for the kill, and then but then right now, before committing to this kill, I realized, and there my heart sank to the bottom. It was this move, and so instead of making the Atari, black makes this Atari, and he extends. He captures white without any coast. See, I was also ready for black to play this kind of thing, and for white to play this kind of a move, and you know, do this ko. When black captures, white can play a ko thread, captures ko thread, and then black needs another connect to capture. So it's like a 2-step ko. Black cannot connect. So I was all ready to do this kind of thing. If I needed to, of course. If I didn't need to, I would connect and capture black. But yeah, so it was when I saw this move, my heart sank to the bottom, and I was like, God damn it, I may not be able to win the game, or certainly I do not have any kind of a lead anymore at this point. So white is reduced to extend here to prevent all of that problem from happening. This and black still doesn't play the eye-making move, plays this move. Yes, you see why, because now there's possibly this kind of a move where this opens up white to sacrifice a stone. Yeah, I was actually planning to do this, and I was gonna Hane on the outside and do this counter-attacking cuts. Yeah, after this Atari, there's no more, and we played a couple of moves, connect, black connects in the center, and there's no more there's no more cutting of the black position. This was when my heart really sank. According to AI, I'm still doing okay here, but um, still relatively even, but the most important thing was to play in the middle here, which somehow during the game I decided I had to keep this, um, ice space plus some territory. Um, um, did not keep calm for sure. Um, okay, Black Atari, this was a continuous move. And here black played something really nice, which was, so here black also has a little bit of a problem going for the total capture against white. And that was, white has this move in Sente. This was part of the reason why the previous block was played. This move is Sente to make two eyes. It's extended Sente, and then the Hane is Sente. So white has a Sente eye here, and so if white is able to play these moves in the center, white is totally alive. Also, don't forget that just this Sente is enough for white to live. So white is still relatively okay, uh, with the group at this point, which is why the game is still fairly close. So this is where black is now like, this move is very, very nice. Lots of purposes and everything. So by not going after white's group in the middle first, all these white moves now become not Sente moves. There's no way white can play these two moves now. White has to save the bottom, and this sideways jump further strengthens the black group here. How many of you guys and me, I was also expecting this move, right? A lot of us would have played here to take away white's eye space. Look how nice this is. Pushes white left into the lower left thickness corner, where any white move is not going to be that good. So the next part, black moves in from the right hand side, another very thick jump move in the center, and now white is forced to play here and keep ramming the head against this impenetrable wall. And here white played a little bit, a couple of slightly inaccurate moves, and black is now a little bit ahead. Most importantly, white was unable to secure life on the bottom easily. Maybe this move had to be played. It's just really hard to even this move, the block is gonna capture this move maybe, but this is all very desperate, very inside of my own territory kind of moves. So namely, the main problem was white was unable to make the bottom alive unless white gave up another super strong Panuki here. And so giving this Panuki up was like the last straw, and the middle is now much more dead than alive. A few more um, what is this called? A few more moves of um, flailing moves. Think of the arms, wild arms around, flailing moves. Maybe something like this, you can get black to play another move on the outside and then play that same sequence, and this sequence, and maybe survive like this, making another eye. But of course, black is not gonna allow white that opportunity. So when all is said, the middle just totally died, and then white was unable to win this ko. And so upon this group living for black, this was all over. This was superbly well done by black after the middle game, and you see like a superb turnaround in the middle game fighting. And here white made a few um, errors, but it just felt like black just every move black was, making progress towards winning the game. Anyways, that was the strongest opponent I played against at the some of the strongest opponents played against. Um, good game. The next game was very interesting. Another oh no, this was my game with Alex Chi. The Alexander Chi game versus Han Han was really interesting. And this game, Alex was black, and Han Han got freaked out so bad that during the middle of the game, he stood up. He asked the referee, which was Kevin Chow, to search Alex for electronic equipment because he felt Alex might be Alex was giving him so much pressure that he felt it may have been some AI usage. This was crazy. These were all Josekis, so I don't see how you could. But anyways, he was really freaked out. That was crazy. He was like, maybe he's hiding some transmitters in his shoe or something. And then and Kevin Chow was he was kind of bad. He was like, oh, you're a 5P, so I should assuage all of your requests and everything. So Kevin Chow was like, oh, he wants to search the shoes, so he made Alex Chi take off his shoes. I was sitting right behind Alex, so my back was to Alex and Han Han in this game. It was really interesting. Try to search up for a broadcast. They may have caught some of this on camera, but probably not. Probably not. They had the broadcast of the professional reviewing in the room, so probably not in the room. So very badly officiated in hindsight. Um, of course, if Han Han, you could always do like, well, we'll search both of you, right? Take off shoes for both of you. You don't just hear one person and then start strip searching the other person. At least do both players at the same time, right? At least do them both at the same time. That's yeah, that's you know granted, the referee, it's the first time he's seen something like that too, so that's okay too. It's uh, yeah, because I don't know if you guys know this. During the Go Congress, they take away, it's voluntary, but you put all your phones into like a basket, so there's no electronic devices, theoretically speaking. Yeah, so it was right about so here all fairly okay Josekis. I think these were Joseki moves. When White played this move, Han Han back jumps and attaches. I think one of the moves that really freaked him out was okay, the headbutt was reasonable. One of the moves that really freaked him out was this move, which was not even a great move. This headbutty move. It wasn't such a great move. There were other moves that were superior, but this kind of move, this headbutty move, it's reminiscent um, of the safe AI, the win rate AI, who is like, remember when AlphaGo played Lisa Do? AlphaGo played a lot of very soft moves. So this kind of a move was a similar kind of a steady, slow, softy kind of move. I think this move is what really freaked out Han Han a lot. Not really a great move, but anyway, a cut, a jump. It was right about this point when they did this, the strip search. Han Han was not even behind. He was actually ahead in the game. Crazy. It was right around this area of the board, and here it was probably may have been before or after this lower right exchange. Here you see White going into the corner. Um, Here the thing is this, the squeeze and this move, this will capture White, except White has a throw in and then a capture and then this move, which would sort of counter capture against black. And there's other ways of playing here to secure the no-ko. It could be like this move. The block would be also a way to capture without ko. So it was very strong for black to play something like the jump, which significantly increases black's eye space and liberties. So right here, Han was probably very freaked out. But he's like winning by 1 point. It's really crazy. He's ahead. He's freaked out. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so at this, so by now, by this point, they have already done the search and the take off your shoes and stuff. Okay, and this is now probably afterwards. Okay, white plays this move, and white plays a knight's move. Very nice moves. But here, Han is gonna start to display his mid to late game like super skills, like we saw with my game last time, in the last game, and now you're gonna see in this game too, where White was able to just consistently do the more important thing. When Black Atari'd, White just gave up that one stone to allow the relatively small area to be occupied by Black, and then White made the bigger surrounding territories, and Black was unable to do too much on the back. And here was when White really took over control of the game. Black wanted White, of course, to play here, but right now, having that Panuki already been taken in the middle, and facing with a need to connect home, of course, White is going to choose a second way, which is to play, take the territory in the corner at the same time and then skipping this B14 move. So this was consistently like, placed in the more important location on the board. And so after a few exchanges like this, White now has a significant lead. I think the last part was here when Black, there was nothing good to do here, so when Black was forced to surround some territory with the upper side thickness, it was just there's just no more room. There was just no more room to make the comeback, and White just steadily took over and even got a very big F2 endgame, and it was just it was actually quite an uneventful and easy, in hindsight, relatively easy victory for White at the end here. White was winning by over 16 points. Yeah, so of course, after the game, Han is really, he's like, I shouldn't have freaked out and like that. He apologized to Alex. I don't know if he did. He did gesture apologies, I saw. I don't know if he did verbal apologies, but anyways, that was really funny. Well, really interesting to witness. Certainly, there was a gesture apology, which is like, like bows and stuff. I don't know if he actually blurted out the words like, I'm sorry, I don't think he blurted out the words. Yeah, that was the most controversial game. The game itself, relatively bland. Well, it's always very rich, but not a lot of super fighting. White was able to, leverage a few Tanukis in the middle here. The turn was good, the Atari was good, but then this jump, which all of these were fairly big moves, but all of them combined together was a little bit small or a little bit too slow. And what really tipped the scale was when Black was playing here, and then White was able to White was able to secure the corner as well instead of the side, sort of getting ahead. Okay. All right. So yeah, that's about it for the in terms of the game itself. Um, what a freak out, huh? What a freak out. Han Han would go on to keep playing in the next year's Go Congress at 2023. I don't know if Alex went to that Go Congress, but anyways, that was very, very interesting. So that was Alex versus Han Han. This Go Congress was also the last time I saw Andy Liu, the other 1P from New York. Talked to Andy and everything. Andy would have had a great chance with Han Han. Yeah, in this game. Andy's game with Han Han was very close. You guys can see here, very, very interesting as well. Andy was white, and they played some very interesting Josekis in the beginning. And so it's the only one which is noticeably not entirely favored to one side. And so, just looking at how Andy was playing in this Go Congress, it was really, really impressive. So they had lots of exchanges. White loses a corner, gains the lower side. Black secures the corner and thickness in the middle. Came out basically even, which was really interesting. So another interesting one here. This was very new at the time. New Joseki. Yep. This move, these were all, none of these moves are perfect moves, but all of them were very good moves. And you guys can see this. Okay. So here, black has a problem on the lower right corner. And, okay, Han Han deals with this very, very nicely. However, not without, of course, not without giving up some things. So here Han Han gives up 4 stones, a couple of moves on the right. This is actually fairly white favored at this moment, but very, very small at the time. So Han Han, upon losing 4 stones and then exchanging with the 2 stones on the bottom, he still continues to exchange the other group on the bottom. This is kind of like a layered sacrifice. And White connects, basically securing the capture on the bottom. When black played this move, the move I'm sure is to capture it. Oh crap, my fault. Black is actually able to survive here. Very, very, very well read, because this extend is a one-legged chicken shape. So I'm sure this move right now, it's best for white to capture this, and black loses a lot too, because living here loses black the Atari here on the outside, and losing this Atari was very, very detrimental. So detrimental, in fact, that when white captures, black ends up playing on the outside, saving the outside stones, which is very interesting. If black continues to live, there's this kind of a very strong attacks against the outside group here. And coupled with this Atari and this extending Sente, this is a little bit of reinforcements for white on the outside. Now perhaps white only has to worry about somehow surrounding black. Somehow it's quite complicated, I know, and it all depends on how the Sente is being used and everything. Anyways, this so black plays it safe and moves out. This gives white a chance to capture the bottom, and all very, very equal on the position. Now it looks like black is expanding very, very fast across the board, but white has this entire bottom totally solid and the top left as well. So um, white plays this move to live for sure over here, which makes black dead for sure, and so black plays some big moves here. This was all very interesting. It's like white has so many points, black has so many points for sure too, and then black has very unsure middle of the board potential with the top right also unsure. White also has this very um, potential. So there's a lot of territory and a lot of potential for both sides. It was very, very interesting. I'm sure right now black should still just survive here, answer here. No big deal. When Han Han played this, it got very complicated again. This is now black really committing to capturing this group. And let's see if he was able to capture this. The block, okay, blocked. Now block was not Sente, but both of them assumed this was Sente. This is a Sente move for black to capture 2 stones for 4-5 points, destroys 3 to 5 white points, so it's like 8-9 points in Sente already. Later on, there's also this co-ish position in the back, at least 2 more points. So this is like 10 points in Sente, which is very, very big. And so both of them answered here. Now Han Han played this move on the outside, and I believe Andy's the only one who was able to get white by 2.2 at the at move at this late in the move at move 129. So Andy was the only one to still have an edge so late in the game. I was the one who had the biggest edge at around 10 points against Han Han. So that's how that's like people who are closest to beating Han Han, I guess. I don't anticipate 2023 to have been problematic for Han Han at all. Okay, so here it's also a very, very complicated position, so it's not easy to tell, of course. But anyways, upon play in here, and basically, I believe what Andy realized was Han Han was gonna go for this move. Atari let white live on the top, and then secure the capture in the middle. I believe he was thinking black was gonna go for this. Black is ahead by 4 points this way, but this means it's really close. Certainly, very far from resign territory. This is 7. This is 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 45, 48. This is now 55 for white, which is a lot. The lower left is maybe 11 plus some potential. This is 10, 20, 25, 30, 40, 50, up to this line it's around 50. So this is about 55 to 61 is right about right. How do you know he was freaking out? Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know he was freaking out. Right about 55 to 61 was the right about the territory difference, and then black has a lot of potential here. White has a lot of potential here. So the game was definitely playable, but he just saw this as, oh my God, this black territory is way too big. I'm getting outplayed. I'm gonna have Gote at the end, and he resigned here. So some Go Congress games that were very, very interesting. Freda says, let's play. I believe, oh no, Freda's playing with some other people. All right, all right. Um, yeah, so that Go Congress was very fun. 2024 Go Congress, I didn't do much recording because it was recorded. So the next part of the stream, I am going to show you. I'm gonna show you guys this, which is a few snapshots of my games that are gonna be covered in my lectures going forward in the Go Congress this year, which is very nice. First, what is this game? This game is in my lectures. This was a City League finals, also during the same Go Congress. Unfortunately, this year they not only did they not allow me to continue to play for the New York team, um, so I am not part of the two teams that are at the finals this year. Um, because of the officials and everything, stupid officials. um, Not only that, I also said, look, my two teammates were Alex Chi and Ryan Lee, who are part of the New York team, and this would be really nice if I could do commentaries for the City League finals, having such a close connection to the City League team, one of the teams, the New York team. That would have been so good, right? No, they didn't allow me to do commentaries there either. So unfortunately, I would have nothing to do at all with the City League this year at Go Congress, which is very sad. Which is very sad. Hello. Yeah, Andy is so good. Unfortunately, that 2022 game was the last time I saw Andy play games in person for sure. I don't know if he's playing online. I haven't seen many US flagged players online, so possibly not. All right, in any case, guys, I am fulfilling my duties to the US Go Congress outreach team as part of the social media influencers with my dozen or so viewers. Used to have dozens of viewers. Now we have 17 on Twitch. Welcome. This is gonna go up to YouTube as a YouTube video, of course, for later. All right, so this is City League Finals. Before the game, Alexander Chi, he told me, Michael, you don't play seriously in online whenever it's online, and whenever you're in front of a computer. And last year, I was bored too, and my opponent was unable to make it to the on site, so we did play online. So he's like, it's bad news whenever you're in front of the computer. This was 2024, and I said, oh, don't worry, I'll play well this time. Don't worry. And then so this is what happened in the beginning. I was playing black, and when white played these series of moves pushing out, and look at this, everything at this point, this is almost dead. This is almost dead. This stone is almost dead. This is almost dead. This is almost dead. Everything for black is almost dead. Everything for white is totally safe. So I was like, at around this point, I was at around this point, I was really like I I didn't want to look back. I didn't want to look at Alex. He was right next to me. I was looking at the screen. He was next to me. I just couldn't bear to look left. It was really like a little embarrassing. So early in the game, it was this extend out move that was a big problem. It made white capture the stone on the corner, got rid of my own liberties. It was way too, I don't know what I was thinking. So very rare for any strong player to be so, to go to be such a, to have such a bad position going through the opening. And okay, so this game is going to be part of the science of comebacks game, and this game is actually going to be a counter example of how not to come back. Okay, so after this, some moves were played, and here there was a secondary mistake, which was the push and the hane. Right now, to prevent the need to make two eyes in the corner, the only move is to jump out and jump out, and that would be a slower game. I decided to hane, let myself be cut just because it felt nice to play an Atari. So now this was very, very bad because instead of having an outpost, I was forced to make a move inside. And so when white Atari'd, I did play the correct move, which is not save the 5 stones. But imagine, and white played very nice too, did not just capture the 5 stones. Imagine that letting this 5 stones be captured and 3 stones and the corner and this like humongous thickness for white develop, this was really bad. So this was when we start trying to get the comeback, and we do some things right in the comebacks, and but here there was a big problem with the push out. When white plays here, it was prime activity for the thickness principle, and now the AI really doesn't want black to play around this white group in particular, which is very, very right. Okay, so that was already very, very bad, and at this point when white captured, I was actually feeling kind of good because we've destroyed a lot of potential, but the problem is we destroyed potential next to the white thickness, which white doesn't want to surround that territory anyway. So we still had a lot of work to do, decided to do work here, and yeah, even here it felt like we were doing good work, but getting this counterattack. But the white thickness with the 5 stones being captured proved out to be really, really big. And here white played something the weak Katago AI does not even see, which is the extend and throw in, which is super, super strong. And the cut, moreover, prevented black from being able to capture the white stones on the outside, which was extra good. So yeah, okay. So come back. This was actually okay. We played the long game. Didn't go for too much. Although we found ourselves in trouble once again. Even though we found ourselves in trouble once again, we did have a chance to play this kind of a move and sort of still hold the position or have a small lead, have a small lag. But the most important thing in that lecture with science of comebacks is the most important thing is to stay calm and try to play good moves and accept that you are already behind. It shouldn't be that hard to accept that I am behind at this point. The only thing psychologically for me for this game was before this I was already feeling, because the bottom here we destroyed a lot of white potential and we destroyed the bottom, so it felt really good. Like it felt like we were already coming back, destroyed the left and destroyed the bottom and made some points on the bottom. So here the psychologically I was feeling like we were okay already, except here when the ko happened, I was unable to make the cool calculated decision to give up give up value on the bottom in order to save, really make sure the main group was alive. I just was not able to do that. Look at the AI moves here. It was 10. It was quite nice. 7. Next move, if white wants to push through, there's no pushes and cuts. So there's only come back and survive. And this way, the last Atari was going to be Sente, and here, Black was not going to have any trouble with the group. So giving up the bottom, what prevented this from being played was we thought, we're very greedy. We were like, we took the bottom is ours. You should not be able to take it back, right? And to take it back would mean that we sort of accepted that we haven't come all the way back in the game yet. And so the most important thing is be cool. Don't do what you don't, don't reach for something. Don't go for volatility just because you are behind. Go for the good moves. That's much, much more important. And so here, as the inability to recognize that we are actually still behind really prevented us from playing the best moves here. So here Black would play the greedy move down here, capture the two white stones, and leave the middle to whatever, to its fate, basically. Okay, played these moves, and now it's time to run for our lives with the middle groups. There's half of an eye. Still, this was, because white also played a bit badly here. The move was to push out. 1, 2, 3, 4. To play the Ataris first, the outside Ataris first, because when Black captures, this is really gonna white would really push Black over here, and if you play too many moves around the thickness, you are just going to die. Of course, white is gonna play this first. Very nice, very nice. Of course, white's 5 is here in the AI diagram. This would be a code to capture this whole thing. It was time to run for our lives, and we were still, we played this move, this diagonal move, clearly not running for our lives yet, greedily making the bottom. I think part of the calculus was we lost the corner for stones, so let's take more territory. Okay, so now, Black is really in some dire straits, but I didn't feel it. I felt like it was still fine. I felt like white with the shortage of liberties was not going to do too much. When white played this move, really now like this was the hammer blow that really like knocked us into our senses again. So we had to play this one move, and then when white played here, when we played this Atari, white's connect is now an Atari, which allowed white to extend out here and almost complete the surround against the black position on the inside. This, its gote for a code to live was really, really bad. So white took it easy, played this move, and now white still has a fairly okay lead. The losses on the bottom is cancelled out by gains in the center. So when white played this one, we played this move. That was fairly good. White should have connected, but this would have been a complicated thing. White decided to just capture this. Small gains, but here we would play another problematic sequence, which invade was fine, but here again we decided to block and push white into the upper left, which was really bad. This really allowing white to both live and to cut us really did it for us. For example, right now, if we capture this, white doesn't have to do anything. The corner is totally alive. Of course, white is going to push at least, and then Atari, this is totally alive. White doesn't need to do anything. White can just count the territory and win the game like this. Of course, black needs to not play 3, but live, somehow live, and and this way, because white's move here is going to be Sente, later on when white Ataris, there's no way for black to um, um, yeah, there's no way for black to save the stones. Like this. Atari, 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 and then connect. So black only has 3 liberties. So, so this was really bad. So here's the primary thing. Don't go for the volatility with complicated fighting, whatever. Have to just play the move and just wait for your opportunities. Do your sustainable development, and so on. So after this, black couldn't respond and had to go for the biggest territory black could muster, and this is really down in the abyss. So this is where the counter example comes in. Remember, look at where the AI wants to play here. 1, 2, 3. This is surrounding like a reasonable, this is where the reasonable amount of surrounding could happen. But here we already could not, it's already moved 170, 172. It's close to the end of the game. There's no more time, no more space for us to do anything other than the strongest continuation we could. So ended up trying to go for a capture here, and so this was not what we were supposed to do, especially this move. White was gonna be able to live, although it did take a little bit of courage. Capture black was gonna play 2, and then Atari connect. Hane had to be played. Or white could have pushed and then turn Atari, turn extend push. It was a little not trivial to figure that this was white was gonna live like this. But there's a lot of choices for black, so I guess it makes sense for white to play a little cautious, something like this. This is a ko, right? This is a ko. White was gonna win the ko, but still, it's a ko. Black could also extend, and then this was also gonna be alive for white, but no, it's not super clear, right? It's not super clear, so I totally understand. This is something. These are the this is alive. So black has to connect, probably connect here, and then push and cut is gonna be fine. Yeah, this is gonna be fine for white. It's not it's not trivial. So I totally understand why white went for the safe win instead of the best win. But that was the thing. When white played here and black captured, white made a second mistake, which is right now the extend into and destroy black's territory is more important than making the outside. But I'm sure white is wrapping the game up. So okay, it all at the end, white successfully destroyed the bottom territory, but black was able to survive on the top. And this survival was probably what white didn't count on, and it was too late after black made the survive. After black survived, it was too late, mostly because white didn't play the extend in kind of move. It was gonna force black to play here. So here's the comeback was made. It was comeback, but it was kind of a counter example of a good way to come back, because black played so many problematic things. Most importantly, a lot of the mistakes happened because black was unable to accept the idea that the fact that black was very far behind, and that was part of what really what really pushed black into the abyss. At the end, black won by 7.5 points with AGA rules, but only because white sort of gave up in this complicated thing. The next part is this game. So contrast my opponent with Lisa Do, one of the legends. In this game, this was very famous. It was the open ladder game. So this was this was a very famous game. So this was an old Joseki, and white jumps. Okay, so the fireworks start over here, where black pushes and cuts. Black wanted to play this move because after black blocks and connects, when he peeps at e17, white was gonna not answer with the connect. So having this outside-inside exchange, he deems to be favorable. So then when white plays this move, black is able to, he was not able to profit from the peep connect exchange, but he was able to benefit in this other way with this exchange. Note how here it was time for white to start thinking about giving up the 2 stones for Sente and everything. This would have been very favorable for white, which is why the AI diagram looks like this: 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then black was going to go for a secondary, outside surround kind of thing, sacrifice for some outside influence. Okay, so in the game, white connects, and here was the run out of the open ladder. This all worked exactly as planned. So at the end here, black Ataris runs this whole thing out. And nowadays, with the help of AI, we are able to deduce that. Okay, so after this, black ran out the bad AI, which means this line and this line, humongous losses. But black captured this, and saved this. So 4 groups is much more important than some thickness and Aji and everything, is the final say. So nowadays, with the help of AI, we can really see how much black is ahead now, about 40 points. Now remember my opponent, how giving up the group made the game a little bit closer, and then one more mistake made the game go my way. Remember, when Lisa Do is faced with a similar position with this middle shape, he does not give this middle up, and instead he plays the strongest moves possible, namely he pushes, lets white push through to do damage to the middle position. And then he plays this push, these moves, these counter-attacking moves, captures another white stone inside the white territory. This totally destroys the balance of territory, of course. So now he commits his opponent white to this all-out capture against the whole black position in the middle. And yeah, it's also just like my game. This was a very, very unclear. Here, white does not block because of this Sente, and then this move getting some kind of a ko. So faced with a similar position, he does not go soft. He goes, the best moves he can find, which is these kinds of moves. He plays these, he turns, plays here, connects all of his almost dead stones in the back there. He plays here, and then at the end, the connect was going to be Sente for black anyways. When white connects, still it's a very complicated position. You and I were looking at the connect, we're like this. We're also looking at this Atari, and then white was probably going to play here for 4, and then white may be able to make 2 eyes and be totally fine and capture black. That would be a total capture. But he was able to find the most important move, which was this move, before he Ataris here on the back, which means white is not able to push and Atari here this loses everything. So upon finding this move, black was able to find some ice space on the bottom, forces white to capture in the back, and then he plays here to find this overall great grand Seki position, which now black has now destroyed, saved all the middle almost dead stones, and survived. And white is the one that's under threat now. So yeah, so this is how to really do it. Not that. This is how to really do it. To stamp out the comeback with the with the best moves possible. A few more moves were played, and now this is 90 points in black's favor. 93 points, 95 points. Let's see if he can get to 100. He did get to 100, although he did get to 100, but he played here, so it's 98 when white resigned. So what a game. This is how to do it when you have the advantage, or try to not play the suboptimal moves. Try to not give up and secure this small win. This is how much you should win by, 98 points. This is going to be part of the lecture series, and that's going to be good. Finally, a couple more moves that's going to be part of the lecture is going to be here. This is the In-Cup finals here. This is Ichiriki. This was Japan's first World Championships in 20 years. This was quite a remarkable, good game, and it showed a lot of our good Go principles, namely defender's advantage and the thickness principle and the attacking principle, as always. This lecture is going to recall this is fighting with weak groups. If you win by less than 100, consider it a loss. Yeah. So here was the first part. Ichiriki, the eventual world champion, the first Japanese world champion in 20 years, is going to really show us some good Go principle techniques. You'll see here the blue move is this jump. You and I, many of us, would all have played the block. And the next move would have been this block. And then we're going to turn and then do something like this to run out. This is a perfectly reasonable way to go. This is not AI recommended because it goes against some of the very important Go principles. One is the thickness principle. You don't want to play moves in between the white thickness in the middle and have white play on the outside surrounding the lower left corner, which is much bigger, and instead you want to jump and let the one stone go. Let white surround territory with the thickness, and for black, rush towards the weakest areas in the white shapes. But despite doing the right thing at first, black still finds a very difficult position here. Black still finds a very difficult position here, having to defend a clearly weak group here. So after a few moves, here was the very important thing. Defender's advantage, living small is okay if you are under attack. Okay, and here was black's chance to make most use of this. Instead, black not only commits a offense to the using the defender's advantage, he also commits the offense with the thickness principle, which black plays in the middle, and white is like suddenly alert. He's like, oh yes, this is my chance, and white's like, okay, place in the corner. See how the thickness is here. When black played this move, this is very close to the thickness. Instead of fighting with black here, there's multiple different ways to fight here. I'm sure everyone expected the cut. Everyone, a lot of us would have cut. I'm sure Ichiriki expected the cut to happen. But remember, his opponent was very alert and he played here. Very nice. So here, what took away black's base, potential ice space in the corner. Where is black left to go? He's left to go into the middle, right where we drew out the thickness. And so, yeah, we can see here black had to move here. You see how the AI still wants him to play on the bottom here, try to, try with all his might to interact with the weaker part of the moyo, and instead moves out here. Okay, push, Atari. He connects. The cut happens, so I'm not sure exactly what the AI wants with this kind of thing. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Interesting. See, if we play this AI graph variation out, of course this is not perfect. We see what black has accomplished here at the end, which is survived with the main group and allowed white's thickness to capture 4 white stones. White, captured a huge 4 stones, but this is what? This is surrounded some territory with thickness. And as a result, this is not going to be that bad for black. Next, fight on the top, and this is how black was still able to maintain some balance in the game, maintain a very balanced game. So in the game, this connect, I'm sure everyone would have connected here, so or maybe connected here, but this is could not be faulted. And as a result here, what's this diagram? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is going for the kill. Black is almost totally dead, and it would take a miracle to get him back. So here, wow, this outside Atari, crazy. So here, the cut is the most pressing thing here. Very, very complicated. You can see very complicated 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Very complicated fight. White did not end up cutting. And this was the most important thing. If black connects, it's all over. There's no way to make 2 eyes inside here. Black plays this move to get a counterattack going against the outside. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 and connect at 11 are 2 of the good counterattacks in this position. In any case, they would dance around this counterattack for a while. White does play here. Black cuts. And the move for white is to push out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And, this gives black an eye space on the inside. But here, oh yes, right now white definitely cannot play the cut. 1, 2, 3, and then the 4 cut, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14. And so black is now able to counterattack and reach safety. The main point of this is when we have a clearly weak group, it's very, very important to not sort of, put your head in between your hands and roll yourself up and do this, getting beat up, the beat down position, the fetal position. The most important thing when you're getting into some serious danger is to continue to make sure that your moves are highly efficient, that they are making points, making ice space, making counterattacks. So here the most important thing for black is to continue to make counterattack against the white shape. And due to black not connecting this L8 point, and only connecting after white makes a second peep, black saved the move to run out. So this is very important for fighting with weaknesses. Okay, so as a result here, this is very, very complicated fighting. And unfortunately, very, very complicated. And here there would be a second. This was not actually a mistake. This is just AI being a little confused. Push, push, extend. You guys, you can tell by how complicated the position is, based on like the blue move is like a -9-point move. Very nice, very interesting. So this is just a low play out cut-go AI being confused. So here, here is where the second cut. This is the second cut where black was not gonna be able to do. For example, here this is still complicated. This is a second cut, this G11. Now watch what happens at the end of this. Okay. At the end of this fighting, when black was able to peep, play this, this, black was finally able to capture the two white stones in Sente, and this way he never connects here at G11. That was the most important thing with fighting with a weak group, fighting with weaknesses, fighting to save your groups. You have to keep your efficiency up at the expense of safety. Okay, great. And at the end of this, this is how black was able to win the game. So this was part of fighting with weaknesses. This game was very, very good. A great showcase of what can go right and wrong when you are defending your groups here. And here we're going to recall a lot of our main Go principles, thickness principle, fighting with fighting with weaknesses was especially important for black. Whenever there was a peep, and if you connected, black was going to be dead. And black had to just never connect the first one until white played this sideways move. And here there was a second one where after the Atari, whenever black connects, black was going to be, maybe he was still going to live, but he was going to be behind in the game. He was always ready for the counterattack, and that's exactly how he was able to survive. Very, very nicely done. Very, very hugely deserving winner. He even spent 2 moves. He even spent, and he went overtime, and he paid 2 points for his move. So actually, he literally won by half of a point at the end. Congratulations. And so some of these snippets are coming in our Go Congress lectures, of course, along with some very, very good AI stuff. Sorry, PowerPoint stuff. So come to Go Congress. There's still time to show up, and it's going to be great. If you're in the Texas area, it is very, very good. You will never regret it. All right, so this completes our recorded section of this stream, and look forward to some more good games at Go Congress, and come to my lecture at Go Congress. It'll be great. See you guys there.